right. How you guys doing? Got some soft jazz music on. It's just a sign to not to panic. So, but Bitcoin we kind of rejected about that 13,200 area. You can tell about, we barred down from here. So, but we're gonna get into this analysis real quick, and I've also added another coin that we're gonna put on the daily list. So, but if you like today's content and you would like to see the channel grow, please hit that like bell and please subscribe. We're growing this community, and like I said, the moment we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to start doing live streams. I enjoy doing this, but this is all for you. All right, so here we go. So you got Bitcoin here. Zooming out just a little bit, we're sitting above really our last line of support, which is our old resistance that we had to cross, the other day, which is about 12,300. Now I have this gold line here because, it's not a line to panic, but I've zoomed out a little bit and it matches pretty perfect with, where we had this area of consolidation. That was a top. When was that? July 4th. So this will be our next support area. Now, if we break the 12,000 area, next area you can expect is just about roughly the 11,500 area that you can expect the next support. So, I know everybody doesn't have it, but Market Cipher, we just shot a green dot. It's on the 15 minute. If we go up to the higher time frames, let's try the 30. See if we got a green dot. See, this is what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to see how Market Cipher, I have this red line here. I'm actually going to turn it black. So what this represents is you can see where, we have bearish divergence here, and this is the money flow index. When it's green like this and pointing up, the money flow is positive. But, we're in this descending divergence right now, and the money flow is pointing down. So I'm holding steady. I really want to see how Bitcoin reacts to 12,000. I think we're going to have a pretty decent shakeout here. It's a healthy shakeout. It's just to get the over leveraged longs out, just like through here. All the people that were shorting, you have to get the shorts out. You have to keep them honest. That's why I always recommend, no matter how confident you are, you don't want to be over leveraged, because the market makers, they will shake you to your core. So, to sum up Bitcoin here, you're going to have your first resistance line at roughly 12,800. See where we had these tops here, and then we build support, and we have about 2 touch points there. And our next area, like we've talked about the last couple days, it's going to be about that 12,900 area. If we test that again and we break it, I think we'll go above 13,000 again. Something to watch out for as well, like I've pointed out in my other streams. If we go out to the daily here, we're still in this parabolic trend, so I'm really not going to panic until we break this line. So, and even then, I'm not going to panic. It just might mean that we're maybe not going to... We've been in this parabolic trend, and maybe when we break this, it'll be just a sign that we're going to slow down on the movement. And as long as we're consolidating above $10,000, I'm not going to panic. Because, the faster we go through this and we don't really consolidate, you're going to have these big drops. We really haven't had areas of consolidation for extended amounts of time. We've really only consolidated for about a day, maybe 2, and we're off to the races. We're either going down or up. So this movement is completely healthy. I'm sorry, it's going to be completely healthy as long as we keep consolidating above 10K. We could break it like we did last time here, but I don't really see us breaking 10K unless we start getting bearish again. So to sum up Bitcoin, you have your first resistance line at 12,800, and you have support at 12,300. If that breaks, you'll have 12,000 as your last line of defense, and then you can expect 11,005 to be our next support line. Let's go over to ETH now. Hope you're enjoying the music. It's just stay calm and breathe. This is where you want to make your entries. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying these prices, but you don't want to buy when we're going parabolic. You want to buy on these dips. Alright, so looking at ETH here, we had a pretty decent... I'm going to actually go to the closer time frames. So on Ethereum, Uh, we had a pretty, this is definitely a bearish engulfing candle. We went down and touched about $280. We broke our support line here, so this is now going to become resistance. So I'm going to turn that red. So you have your support line here, roughly $280. And honestly, I'm going to actually put another green line here. I like how this looks. You can see where we have these touch points through here. And you can kind of tell where we're just barely holding above it now. So alright, I'm going to start that right here. And I'm going to turn that green. It's support. So we're getting down here, and this is usually where we start getting some of the green candles. I'm sorry, the green dots, which are buy signals. Let's go to the closer time frames. Oh, so until we see a green dot here, I know not everybody has Market Cipher, but I'm going to be holding off. The money flow is still it's still green here. But, if you look at this angle right here, let's see if we can compare it to any other. You can kind of see over here where we also had another one here. And, it's a bearish, we're bearishly diverging. So I don't want to focus too much on Market Cipher because not everybody has it, but I just use it for confirmations on, what I'm already thinking. So to sum up Ethereum right here, you have your last line of defense at 280. Got your temporary support at roughly, 285, and your first resistance line. Let's see that. Let's see if these match up here. All right. So you're gonna have a short-term resistance line. Get this measured up here. So you're going to have your first resistance line about 295, 296 area. It's going to be your first resistance line before we go and test the psychological 300. I'm going to turn this green just to help represent that real quick. So Ethereum, to sum it up, you have support, temporary support at 285. You have your stronger support at 280. And, if we break that, we do have these two touch points, but that's only two. So and that's roughly about the 272, 270 area. But honestly, I don't see that holding if we go and test that. So you have support at 280, a temporary support at 285, and your first resistance lines are going to be roughly 295, 296, and then 300. And then there's the line that we had, we've had a ton of issues breaking it last week, even with Bitcoin running, which is about 310 to the 311 area. I'm not going to focus too much on these because we have more walls to deal with before we get to these, the more optimal targets if you're bullish. All right, let's go to XRP, and I'm going to look at this on the Binance chart so I can compare it to Tether. It's not really doing it a service. Checking it versus Bitcoin. All right. Ooh. So XRP, we broke our 382 support line that we were holding there for the longest time, and we even broke our panic line here. XRP, I'd be a little bit more worried just for the fact that even when Bitcoin was moving, it was just stagnant. It wasn't really moving at all. So you're gonna have your first, and see, that's the thing. There's really not. Okay, wow, that actually matches up really good. So your first support line that you're going to see here is, I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in a little closer. You can see on the 236 here on your fib retracement, we're sitting just about 34 cents on that, which matches up fairly good if you look at the tops. So I like that a lot. So first support line will be at roughly the 236, which is 34 cents. And if things get really bad, your next support line, you'll have your psychological 30 cent mark. But So yeah, I like that. I want to get a support line here. Let me zoom out. I just want to get a little bit more data on this. I'm trying to be more accurate on this XRP one, just for the fact that it's just been so stagnant. So I'm going to look at, past price movement. All right, I like that a lot. So I'm gonna turn that green for us. Oh, I think it moved a bit. I'll fix it. So if we match these lines, you can see how we have our tops here. Prior resistance is now new support. I like how that matches up. So your first support line, which you're going to have on XRP, you'll have your 236 fib retracement, which is about 34 cents. You can see where we just about almost touched it here and we bounced off. And, after that, your next support line will be roughly about 32 cents. And honestly, if that fails, you'll have your psychological, 30-cent mark, but 28 could be the worst case scenario. And I really don't see XRP breaking 28 cents unless Bitcoin gets insanely bearish, like, testing 10,000, maybe even lower. So, in this basically descending, pressure line right here that I have it, labeled in red, it held up. I don't put a whole bunch of sediment in this, but it's just to represent, the downsloping resistance that, currencies are facing. So sum up XRP here, you'll have your first support line, 34 cents, and then 32 cents if we keep dropping. Your first major resistance is going to be about 36 cents here. And then your next one after that will be your 382, which is sitting right at about 38 cents. And I'm not going to put a red line because this, if you zoom into it, you can see it perfectly on the 382. It's just touching right on, we have so many touch points on that. So your resistance lines will be 36 cents and 38. Now, if Bitcoin gets real bullish again, the next one you can expect is about 40 cents even, with support lines being at 34 and 32 USD Tether. All right, now this is one I just know it has a big following, a huge community. So I'm gonna add Tron to the list here. And if you want any coins, or you have any recommendations for coins that you want added to the daily list, I do these twice a day, so I'll make sure to add that to the list that I do twice a day. The stream was a little bit late today, but it wasn't because I wasn't on time. It was for the fact I wanted to give you guys the most accurate information. And so if I went live, 30 minutes before, 10 o'clock, which would be 9:30 here, we really would have missed this dip. And those support lines and resistances that I have drawn out for you, they would have been outdated. So I waited for the dip. I wanted to see where we started consolidating so I could get on the most accurate information. We're not going to start live streams till about 100 subscribers. So, that's the whole reason why I waited here. I know these videos are static, but I still want to get you the most accurate information. And, to timestamp this, it's July 10th. And it'd be about 12:30 Eastern Time. Just to give you a little example. All right, now we're going to look at Tron. We're going to look at Tron, though, versus Bitcoin. So, Tron I'm a little bit worried about. I know they had some of that negative news earlier this week, which I don't want to get too much into. But just like XRP, there's this down-sloping resistance line that's basically just been pushing it down. Every time we touch it, it gets rejected. And even worse is we've been in this descending triangle since literally the beginning of February. Ever since we hit that's almost a triple top right there at roughly 850 Satoshis. But literally since then, just been in this line. We've had a little, a few bounces, but every time we hit that not upsloping, but this down-sloping resistance here on this descending triangle, we've been rejected. This yellow one's just a more short-term representation. So on Tron, your first support levels, let's do it here. So, you know, we broke the support level that we had here. You know, if I zoom in here a little closer, you can see where we had multiple touch points bouncing off here. We now broke that, and that's now going to become the new resistance, which 270 Satoshis is your next resistance. It was support, now it's resistance. And wow, it's even still falling. I tried to draw another support line here, but it looks like not only did we break it, but we're now testing it, and we flagged off of it. So, yeah. Wow, so much resistance on Tron. Lots of selling pressure. And the scary thing about Tron, and this is something I want to emphasize because it's going to be a little hard to gauge where Tron's going to bottom at. I want to zoom out on the daily time frame. Because I zoomed out and I was trying to look at past performance, you know, how it fared. You know, if we zoom out on this, when Tron, you know, when it first came out, we really rocket shipped up. There was really no areas of consolidation. You know, it just rocketed. We started from 52 Satoshis and we hit a high of, wow, 2,035. So, and this area of support, you know, we had multiple touch points over a long period and we broke that now. And so I have a feeling that's going to become really insanely strong resistance. Zoom in a little closer. I just want to get an accurate reading on this. Like I said, Tron's going to be pretty hard to gauge where you're going to see a bottom on this. We're really almost to the point we're going to be in price discovery mode. Yeah. Alright, that pretty much just confirms everything I already thought. Alright, so on Tron, we're pretty much in price discovery mode now. You're going to have 260 and 270 become the new resistance. And if we for some reason got really bullish and it was to break out, you know, the next higher time frame resistance would be about 313 Satoshis. I have a phone ringing somewhere. So your resistance level is going to be, if we get really bullish, will be 313, with your more short-term time frames being at about 270 Satoshis. I don't want to call 260 resistance yet, just because it's still early. We just broke under it. So it's kind of wait and see on that 260. You know, if we can break above here and kind of build some support around it, which I wouldn't be shocked about, you know, it's very possible. You could have your psychological support at 250 just because it's a solid, it's a whole number. But looking at the longer time frames that I went all the way back to literally the moment it went live on Binance, this is really hard to say, but your next support level could be 210 Satoshis in the 200 area. Now, I don't want, like I said, I don't want to put too much sentiment on this because there is just, we are in price discovery mode now. This is where we're going to form new support levels. So I'm really curious to see where Tron goes. And I don't know if you can see this up here, but you know, Bitcoin, we're still falling. Exchange is kind of freaking out a little bit. So right now, Bitcoin, we're sitting at roughly 12,271 USD. Yeah, exchange is flipping out right now. There's so much volume. So, you know, that pretty much sums up today's stream. With Tron, you have support levels at roughly 250. I don't want to call 260 yet as support or even resistance because we just broke under it. But you can bet for sure that 270 will be, it's going to be insane resistance. And if we get really bullish, you can see where these tops are. You can expect about 310, about the 310 area will be our next resistance level. So I think that does it for today. I'm really curious to see how Bitcoin acts because, as you all should know by now, Bitcoin controls the entire market, especially altcoins. They've been just absolutely getting annihilated right now. So I'm going to do one more final check on Bitcoin. Pretty much got the analysis done on it, but and this is about 12:30 Eastern time, July 10th. All right, so we're still holding this, so it's not time to panic yet. We still have our, basically our last real strong line of support at 12,000 USD tether. Or I guess this is just USD in general. And then your next support line will be roughly about right here around the 11,500 area, maybe even 11,004, depending on the exchange you use. So I hope you enjoyed today's content. I hope you liked the music. Just stay calm. You shouldn't be buying Bitcoin when it's going parabolic. These are the times you should start dollar cost averaging. I'm not necessarily saying this price, but don't be over leveraged. Be patient, and let's see what Bitcoin does. So if you enjoyed today's analysis, I stream twice a day, 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you enjoyed today's content, please hit that like, hit that bell, and please subscribe to grow this channel. I really enjoy doing this, and I hope you enjoy watching my channel. Thank you very much, guys.